Hi, this is Glenda, and today I wanted to show you how I made an extruder for soap dough, and it cost me $20. Now there is a couple of caveats. One, that this is just the cost of the materials, not the tools needed to do it, and it does not include the cost of the actual extruder discs, which is something that I 3D printed. I already had an extruder, but it was a small one like the one you see on the left, the green one. And I was considering buying one like the one on the right, but the price stopped me. But also the fact that I didn't know what material that is made of, what kind of metal. And I don't like for my soap to be in contact with any metal except for stainless steel. I bought this caulking gun from the hardware store, and I bought this specific one because it's made of plastic. I also bought a 1.5 inch thick PVC pipe, of which I cut an 8.5 inch section using these tools. To be honest, my husband cut it and he used this protective equipment. This caulking gun will produce figures that are smaller than the ones you will get with the more expensive one, the one you can buy that I showed earlier. So to try to make up for that, I'm going to attempt to cut as much of the end of the caulking gun as I can. I did try to make this with a metal caulking gun and it didn't work, which is why I chose this one, because it's plastic so it can be cut more easily. I did try using tin snips at some point, but that didn't work. So what I ended up using was mostly these pliers, which are meant to cut like thick wire, but it worked well for this. It's going to give me a very rough edge, and later I'm going to attempt to soften it by sanding it. I do have to leave a small section that will stop the PVC pipe from coming out of it. So I am trying to leave just the smallest of margins there. In the end, this is what I have, which is just a small edge, just enough to stop the PVC pipe and large enough for me to make extruder discs with larger figures. Now to figure out how long it was going to be, I just inserted the PVC pipe into it and then mark what the length should be. It's like 8.75 inches or about 21 centimeters or 21.5 centimeters. It's almost 22. Initially, I was going to cut this with a Dremel equipped with a cutting disc. However, as I started to use it, my husband came. As you know, most men are attracted to the sound of a power tool like moths to a flame. So after he came, he volunteered to cut it, and he thought it would be best to do it with the hand saw. But the Dremel did help to give it a good start. Next, I 3D printed some butterfly discs, and I'm going to test the extruder. I have here some soap. I mean, it's been grabbed. It was meant to be soap dough, but it really didn't work out that well. But I don't have much soap dough at the moment, so I'm going to see if it works. I also 3D printed a disc that fits inside the PVC pipe, and this is so that the metal part of the caulking gun touches that instead of touching the soap. Then I'm going to insert the extruder disc at the very end, and this is where it becomes tricky because now I have to use the gun with one hand. It is a ratchet gun, so it doesn't require a whole lot of pressure. You just have to have it at the right angle for it to catch. But then with the other hand, I have to maintain the disc pressed against the PVC pipe so that there is not a lot of extra soap dough coming out of that edge, which It's inevitable, it will happen if I don't use anything else, but it gave me some ideas of how this may work. Now, the actual butterfly piece did not work out because of the soap dough condition. It's just too much, yeah, there's too much texture on it, so it should be smooth for this to work. I tried conditioning the soap better so that it was softer and it will be easier for this to create a better shape, and I attempted again. The second attempt definitely turned out better, as you will see next. However, there's still some spillage on the side, which is not significant, but it does bother me. So in my next attempt, I 3D printed a cover to keep that extra soap dough from coming out. The second butterfly dough does look better, and I'm happier with it, and I think I will be able to use it in a soap. And next is just a matter of removing the disc and the disc that was used to push it out, and just wash them so that they'll be ready for next time. Speaking of which, my next and last attempt for this video is going to be a cactus, and I prepared some soap dough for it. So this one is in better shape, it's softer, and it works better as soap dough. It doesn't have the problems that I had with the pink one. And I'm going to create a longer embed because I also have a larger quantity of it. I'm trying to roll it into a cylinder that will fit snugly into the PVC pipe. And once that's achieved, I'm going to put the disc that I used to push it through on one end, and on the opposite end I'm going to put the extruder disc and cover it with this sort of like frame that sometimes work and sometimes it doesn't in preventing the soap dough spill. Then I'm going to load this into the caulking gun and we're ready to go. Because the soap dough is very firm, I'm not having any issues with it curling, and I'm quite happy with how it came out the first time. I did do a couple more attempts to create a longer embed later, but overall I'm happy with how this turned out. If you try it, let me know how it works for you. And I do have extruder discs available in my website, which I'm going to link below in case you're interested. Bye.